Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to get started either learning SQL or brushing up on your SQL, or maybe just practicing with SQL commands, doing selects, create, update, delete, those types of things. And we're not going to be doing any commands in this video, but I'm going to show you how to get some sample data that you can practice with and get it on your computer and get it set up so that you can have all the data that you need in order to practice. And it's pretty easy to do. It's not very complicated at all once you know what to look for. So I have here on my screen the Google website, the search engine, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just click this forward arrow because I've already run this search and I know what it's going to produce. So if you do this search in Google, SQLite Northwind Database, you should get some results that look similar to this. Now, you can get a copy of this database in file form and you can download it, but it's going to have a bunch of things in it that could be distractions or could confuse you. So what I'm going to show you is how to get the data installed on your computer, and I'm talking specifically to anyone that already is familiar with DB browser for SQLite. And if you're not familiar with that, I did a previous video where I show you how to install that on your computer and just create a simple contacts database. At any rate, once you do this search, you'll find in the results probably this Wikipedia site that is on the domain wikiversity.org, and you'll see that it's got a Northwind SQLite database. So if you click that link, you'll go to basically just a page full of text. And what this text is it's basically all of the commands needed to create this database. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to run this inside of DB browser for SQLite. And we're going to create this database and save it on your computer so that you'll have some sample data to work with. The Northwind Database is a historical database that people that are learning SQL have used, and MS SQL have used for years. So it's a good set of data to practice with because it's got a lot of different things in it that comes in handy when you're learning a language. And if you're brushing up on SQL because you've already learned it but maybe haven't used it in a while, this is a good way to do that. You may even have heard of the Northwind database, but this is the SQLite version. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start here with this first drop table statement, and I'm going to select all of this text from here down. These double dash lines up here, they're just comments, so the program isn't going to really pay any attention to those, so there's no need to copy them. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight this first line, and then I'm going to scroll down all the way to the bottom, and then I'm going to hold down shift and I'm going to click right behind this last semicolon, and I didn't get that last semicolon, so I'm going to arrow over there. Once you've got all that text selected, you can hold down Control and hit the C key on your computer. And then what we want to do is we want to open DB browser for SQLite, and we want to create a new database and store it in a location where you can find it. And I'm just going to call mine Northwind .db. You can use any of these extensions down here, but I'm just going to use the DB one. So if you save that file, we now have the database. Now it's asking us to start creating data. And this would be normally how you would do it, but we're going to install a complete database using a text file. Well, not a text file, but a series of text commands. So we're not going to need this. So I'm just going to click close. And then what I want to do is I want to come over here to the Execute SQL tab and select it. And then I'm going to right click in the window here, and I'm just going to paste all of that text that I just copied out of that website. And you'll see here that we start up here and it runs all the way to the end. It's 1,000 lines long, over 1,000. But if you hit the run button and run this series of commands, it's going to install all that data. And you can see it doing its work right down here. Okay, it looks like it's done. And so now if we click File, Save All, we now have put all that data in the database. Now, just to make sure that it's all there, we're going to come over here to the Browse Data tab and click it, and you'll see we have a bunch of tables. We have about 9 tables in here. And this is a nice sample database that has some legitimate structure to it, structure that you'll probably be working with in your work working with data. So you'll see here that we have a customers table that has imaginary customers in it, and they have addresses with them. There's employees, there's order details, there's an orders table which represents the transactions that have happened. Then you got products, you got shippers, how the stuff gets sent, and you've got suppliers. So even though this data is imaginary, sample data, it has structure that actually helps you to work with data that's very similar in many ways to the data that you're going to be working with when you work with databases. So that's basically how you install the Northwind database on your computer. And just to show that it's actually installed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close down DB browser for SQLite. I'm going to click save because I want to save it. Actually, this is asking me if I want to save the project, and I don't really need to save the project. As long as I have the database, I'm fine. So now if I open this back up, and then I open database and go to where I saved it, which is right here, Northwind Database, it's got 64 kilobytes of information, but if I double click that and reopen it, you'll see all that data is there. So now we're free to experiment, practice, learn how to use SQL in a SQLite database to pull information out of this database. And so this will be the database that I use in some demonstration videos going forward. I'm going to show you how to do some basic queries, some selects, some updates, some deletes maybe, and who knows. But this is how you get the data on your computer that I'll be working with in some of the videos going forward. So if you've been looking for sample data to practice SQLite or SQL, the language, then we've accomplished that in this video. So I hope that helps, and thanks for watching.